Hello, and today we're going to go over how to invoice retail network orders for existing customers. One thing that we're going to need for all orders while invoicing customers is a application that we've developed called Easy Invoice. It will be supplied to you in an email. Something you'll need to do is you'll need to go to the following website and install Ruby onto your operating system. Once Ruby is installed, you'll need to go ahead and unzip the Easy Invoice package that we supplied to you, and you'll need to put it in a folder that you know how to navigate to in your terminal window. If you aren't sure what the terminal window is, you'll want to look it up and understand how to navigate through in Windows it would be the MS-DOS prompt, and for Mac it would be a terminal. So you'll want to know how to navigate to the folder where you have this application saved. So once you have done that, you'll be able to do this part of the invoicing process. And remember, you will need to have this application for all invoicing. So we will now go ahead and move forward with how to invoice retail network orders for existing customers. So here we are at the home screen once again for our fulfillment service. So what we'll want to do once we're here is we'll go ahead and click reports. And once we click reports, you'll see that we have several options here, and that you will want to go ahead and click transaction history and then click view transaction. Once you click View Transaction, you'll see that there's three different ways to pull up the order. Choose a transaction number, choose a reference number, or choose a PO number. We will go choose a reference number because the reference number is the same as our sale order number that is generated from Deere Systems. Here we are at the Deere Invoicing home screen. Here you'll see a whole lot of information. Mainly what we need to get from the screen is we need to see what the last order was that we actually invoiced. So as you can see here, the last order we invoiced was $473. So we'll have to come back over to the warehouse screen, and we'll want to enter in order 474, and we'll want to click the Run Report button. Once the report comes up, you'll see we have quite a bit of information supplied to us. We have the customer information, the tracking information, the shipping charges, the payment terms. Here is the purchase order line. You'll need to pay attention to this line because it will tell us if the order was generated from our in-house sales team or if it was generated from Retail Network. If you see an RN, that means it was generated by Retail Network, and you will need to apply the following set of rules that you see in this video. Once we have pulled up the order, we will want to go ahead and come back to Deere Systems. We will click plus sale for creating a new sale, and then we'll want to go ahead and enter in the customer. Since this is an existing customer, you'll find them in the drop down. You'll want to then add the purchase order number to the customer reference number line shown here. Once you have done that, you'll come back to the warehouse fulfillment software. You want to choose the CSV from the drop down menu. Go ahead and click export. You will then want to go to where this file has been saved. You'll want to take this file and make a copy of it or move it to where you have extracted our Easy Invoice software application as shown here. After you have moved the file to the correct folder, you'll need to rename the document to inventory.csv. If a document named inventory.csv already exists, please delete that file first, then rename the newly exported document as shown here. So here we are at Easy Invoice already at the terminal window. A few things you need to know is that there is different pricing tiers, and depending on which customer, if they're a regular retail shop or a distributor, will depend on which pricing tier you will want to use. So as you can see, here's the line. You'll want to use to execute the application, it's ruby csv_sort.sh. Once you execute the command, it will ask you what pricing tier to use. You'll enter in 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, depending on what customer it is. Your standard customer pricing will be level 2, and distributors' standard pricing will be number 3. On a very rare occasion will you use 4 and 5. There will also be custom pricing tiers, but we'll worry about that in the more advanced training videos. If it's done properly, you'll get a green message that says done. In a green message that says the file is called outfile.csv. Next, we will need to check over the out file. Every so often it will create a small error in the file that we need to delete. So if we go ahead and open the file, and if you look over it, you'll notice that the very bottom line item is actually a duplicate. The reason you can tell it's a duplicate is because that there's no value for this line. So if you want to go ahead and just delete it, and then go ahead and save the file. When saving and closing the file, make sure you click continue to know that it is not going to save the extra feature since it's a CSV file, and make sure you exit out, saving the file completely. Next, we'll navigate to Dear Systems to import this file for the order. We'll go ahead and click Browse. We'll navigate to where the file is, click Open, and then we'll click Upload. Once you see that the order has been imported properly, go ahead and click Authorize, click the Order tab, click the Copy from Quote, click the Authorize button again, go ahead and click the Pick tab, go ahead and click Auto Pick, click Authorize, go ahead and click the Pack tab, you will then click Auto Pack, you will once again click Authorize, you will now click the Shipping tab, you'll once again click Auto Ship, you'll then click Authorize, and then you'll click on the Invoice tab. The Invoice tab is important due to we need to add a payment due date, shipping costs and tracking, email the customer, and because this is a retail network order, we'll also need to apply the commissions as well on this tab. So the first thing we need to do is apply the payment date, so we know when this is actually due to us, so we know if it's late or not to start trying to collect. We'll then need to add the tracking costs as well as apply the commissions. We will then go ahead and apply the commission to the invoice lines. So if you can see, it says it's a total of 504. So what we need to do is we have to take 504 and multiply it by 0.2. That gives us a total of $108. So what we need to do is we have to type in negative $100.08. And then that will give us what the actual total due amount is owed on the invoice, since our sales team will pay us for the invoice and not the customer directly. Next, you'll need to order in the shipping information. To do that, you'll need to go to our FedEx account and go to the ship history. You'll then look up the order. And then what you'll see here is you see that we have the tracking number as well as what the shipping costs were. You'll go ahead and enter in the shipping costs, and then in the memo box you'll go ahead and type in the tracking number. You'll then go ahead and click Save. You'll then go ahead and email this over to Tracy at retnet.net because this is a retail network order. In the email subject line, you'll need to make sure you include the purchase order number for easy referencing. After you have emailed a copy of the invoice over to Tracy, you can go ahead and click the Authorize button, and then you can go ahead and click Back to List, and you can go ahead and enter in the next order, and that completes the sales order entry. Thank you and enjoy your day.